What is up? Today I'm going to be taking you through the dynamic warm-up. So this is something that you'll do a lot of times before your workout, or we might do bits and pieces of it, as well as the PVC warm-up. But I always tell people that if you want to get the most out of your personal training session, coming in and getting warmed up before your time starts is freaking awesome. That way you can get the most out of that time, because if we have to spend 5 minutes getting you warmed up, that's 5 minutes less that we're working out, and you probably want to get as much working out in as you can. So the dynamic warm-up, awesome warm-up before a workout. It's also great if you are a little bit sore after a workout and want to loosen up some of those tighter areas. It can also just be great as kind of like a daily mobility practice, especially if you're intentional about pausing and getting a really good stretch in some of these positions. It's an awesome daily mobility flow for you. It can take 5 minutes or less and you can be feeling really good. So starting off here, what I'll have you do is hug that knee to chest. You might feel a little bit of a stretch depending on where you're tight. You might feel that kind of anywhere around the hip and the glute, into that hip crease, kind of wherever. Notice that I'm giving that a really good, solid hug. I'm trying to get it as far up as I can. I would recommend knocking out like 6 of those on each side. Then we're gonna come into hugging your heel to your butt. Now, you can see I can kick that up and kind of grab my ankle. Cool. That's perfect, and notice that I'm really trying to push those hips forward and bring that knee back. You're gonna really feel a nice stretch coming down through your quads and through your hip flexors. A lot of times when people first start doing these, they're a little too tight. So what can help is if you grab onto a rack and then kind of slide that hand along after you squat down. That way you can get into it. So again, I'm grabbing the rack, I'm squatting down a little bit, and I'm sliding my hand up the leg. If that's still out of reach, no worries. You can just do a couple of kind of deliberate kicks up towards the butt, and that's gonna at least get some motion through the knees. So those are our heel to butt. Then we can do, there's a couple different names for this: perfect stretch, world's greatest stretch, a lot of different names. Doesn't matter what you call it. And I'm gonna kind of walk you through this. So, because it's a little bit overcomplicated, you're gonna take a big step out. You're gonna plant the opposite hand. Reach your elbow down towards the floor, or if you can, maybe even reaching it through. Open up towards that knee and straighten out the front leg for a little bit of a hamstring stretch. Like I said, world's greatest stretch, all in one. It hits a lot of different spots. So chances are, wherever you're feeling a stretch is okay, and you should be feeling it there. Again, I would recommend 5 or 6 on each side. Up next, we got an inchworm with an up dog and a down dog. So walking our hands out to a plank position, letting the hips sink, sort of this nice up dog position. Hips back for a down dog, and then you can walk your hands in. You can also do these as kind of like walking your way across the floor. So walk it out, up dog, down dog, then walk the feet towards the hand. If you want to stand up between reps of that, cool. If you want to stay down, totally fine. Really awesome to get some motion through the shoulders, through the back, and then probably a little bit of hamstring calf stretch as well. Those are your inchworm, up dog, down dog. Up next, we got a lateral lunge. Again, you can do this kind of traveling across the floor, or you can just do this side to side. So I'll show you side to side, taking a big step, and then you're pushing your hips back, trying to open up the inner thighs. And totally all right, since we're just kind of using this as a warm-up or as a stretch. It's totally all right if you want to have your hands on your legs to kind of help support you and get you into a little deeper stretch. Then we've got some single leg. You can call this a lot of stuff. I'll call it an RDL to a Frankenstein. That's what they called it when I was in high school track. So you're gonna take a step out. Now you're reaching towards the floor. If you can get to the floor, cool. If not, if it's just a little reach, no worries, and then swing that leg through. And it does not need to be Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, super high kick, just kind of a little bit of a swing. It should be mostly controlled. You don't want to use your momentum and just fling it up there. Expect that to be a challenge on the balance. Lots of times, especially when we first start doing some single leg stuff, you're gonna find that you're pretty wobbly. Again, don't worry about being perfect. Don't worry about getting down to the floor. Little reach, little swing, is all that you need. Get started there and progress. Try to get a little deeper as you go. Last thing for our dynamic warm-up is a figure 4 or piriformis stretch. You can do this standing, so you're gonna bring your ankle up onto that knee and squat it down. You're gonna feel a really good stretch coming in the butt, coming up the side. Totally cool if you wanna do that standing. I generally recommend grabbing onto something. That way you can focus on the stretch and not as much on the balance. And you might notice that I'm kind of pushing down on that opposite knee, and I am trying to sink back into it. I'm not trying to sit forward into it. So like I said, dynamic warm-up. You want to get the most out of your workouts, come do that before your session, or do it at home as a mobility flow, do it at home when you're sore. A lot of great uses for that, and I hope you guys will put it to good use. Thanks.